chance, when I filmed this, I forgot to take into account the fact that the wind was really loud. So to help with that, I've put subtitles on, and you can access them by pressing this icon on desktop or this icon on mobile. Okay, back to the video.
Hello. Hello!
It's been a while. I'm in Bournemouth with Emmy because we've been to a university open day and now we're having fish and chips on the seaside.
I'm really excited.
I'm very excited.
Like, I'm genuinely so happy with this.
Anyway, I've had a lot of interesting conversations with people recently about being sociable in the age of the internet. Because, I mean, obviously I can't speak for how it used to be.
Yeah.
Because I'm not from the 70s. As much as my call the midwife and knitting may make it seem. My best friends, I have made through the internet.
Mm-hmm.
Namely, you and your friends. For anyone who doesn't know, I watched Emmy's YouTube channel.
Every time I mention this, I'm like, what?
Her 2,000 subscriber strong YouTube channel, which I still get jealous over.
2,500.
Oh, I'm sorry, 2,500.
Anyway, I was hosting a gathering at Christmas, so.
And I came along because I thought this was interesting. I went with my friends Harry and Rosie, who are awesome. I think that was the best decision I've ever been allowed to make.
I'm really glad you came to Embly.
I'm very glad.
I had no fucking clue who you were, aside from the fact you were bringing tripods. We made a video about this, we don't need to explain it. It's in my video. A lot of my friends I have met online. Most of my friends I met online. But at the same time, I've then met around half of my friends at gatherings. I was saying to you earlier how, because all of the friends I met at gatherings, my main correspondence with them is online, I would still count them as internet friends. There are some people that I talk to only online and in tweets. Some people I only really talk to in messages. Some people I only talk to on FaceTime, and some people I only talk to IRL.
We've made our own little circle.
We have,
But
and
it's
it
just-
crosses over in particular places.
But it just sort of, it hasn't been formed in the normal way. We're just people being forced to hang out with, or essentially we haven't been forced to hang out, but it's just over the internet. And I think actually,
Yeah.
one surprising thing I found is the circle of friends doesn't really stop.
No, it doesn't, does it? It's
Because
literally never ending.
It's literally infinite in all directions. It's only limited by familiarity. In year 2000, you would have internet friends, and they would be solely the scammers in your email,
Yeah.
or the people who have rather
Someone you met on Club Penguin.
untoward intentions. I was more thinking.
I mean, two kinds of people.
Kind of May 2014, I started getting internet friends. That was amazing. I was so happy.
I've been in the Facebook group that I made my internet friends in. I've been in that Facebook group since May 2013. So I've just passed 3 years of having internet friends, right?
Parents. Because,
Yeah.
Because here's the thing. I like to think I have quite liberal parents.
Mm-hmm.
They let me do what I want to a reasonable extent, and in return I sort of don't do the things they don't want me to do, and that keeps a nice boundary. There are the restrictions that apply to me I follow, and then therefore they get looser.
Yeah.
And I was really hoping they would let me go to Embly.
And they did.
And they did. It took a lot of persuading, but they did. But that's exactly the kind of thing that parents are told not to do. Because essentially, I was going up
Isn't it?
without parental supervision to make a stranger on the internet, and I know a lot of people would just find that completely unthinkable.
See, I've always been really quite clever about how I've met internet friends.
Yeah.
I've literally met about 3 or 4 internet friends in real life without having a parent / someone I'd already met with me. And this is out of literally hundreds of people. Because when I first met my first ever internet friend in real life, which was Cameron, April the 8th, 2014, my dad came and Cameron's aunt came. Because they were staying with
That's a lot
a
of
relative.
sand. That's a lot of sand.
That's a lot of sand. Did you buy chips or sand?
Here's a question that
Yeah.
I like to pose. But how do you sort of verify that an internet friend is who they're saying?
This is difficult.
It is difficult.
This is really difficult.
Because it's based on, if not anything else, instinct. And just
Yeah.
gut
Honestly,
feeling.
instincts are hella important. It's ridiculous.
But then again, instincts can be wrong.
They can be wrong, but sometimes, if you're talking to someone, you can often get this just feeling of, you know, something here
Yeah.
is not quite
Yeah, because
right.
on a good day, I can tell by the way someone types if someone's stolen my friend's phone and is texting me. You can sort of pick up on the way they speak, and you can sort of get to know that. And then I guess like with the whole rise of social media, it's become easy because you can see pictures of each other, and if you see enough, you can maybe try and get.
Yeah.
You can try and sort of see that they're not faked, and then when you're 100% positive that you know who they are, you feel like you know them as a person, and you think you know what they look like, then you can cautiously video call them, and that's when you pretty much know that, again, this is just our advice. Don't follow this out as a step guide. It's really, really important.
Honestly, it's very different depending on circumstances. See, thing is, another thing I have is because obviously the nature of how I have internet friends, often I just know someone because they've met up with one of my mutuals before, who I've already met. It honestly is extremely different for different people.
It's important to remember that safety is the number one priority, and you cannot.
If you feel even a little bit unsafe, there is a block button right there.
A lot of people think that the internet is full of horrific people that have completely untoward intentions.
Disclaimer, it is, but there are nice people too, but you've got to be careful.
The problem I think a lot of parents don't see is that
It's 2016 now.
A, it's 2016, and B,
negativity sticks out. You only hear negative stories.
you don't hear normal stories on the news.
No.
That's the thing.
See, that's why in 2014, in the summer, actually just after April, I messaged Kathy Cassidy on Facebook telling her about me and Cameron, and she wrote a blog post about it. I mean, it's a bit cringy because it was me in 2014, but the point is that she wrote a blog post about, like, I think it was called like Best Friends Online and Off or something. Glasgow to London. That's like quite big.
Yeah, that is quite a big jump.
Yeah. And I got Kathy Cassidy to write an article about that. And that's although it is so incredibly important to remember that there are awful people on the internet and not everyone is who they say they are. I'm not trying to be super skeptical because I've had good experiences, but it's very important to remember this, that you don't go too loose on it. Networking and stuff is so important and so good, and honestly, internet friends is the best thing that has ever happened to me in like my whole life.
Yeah.
No, scratch that. Reading Harry Potter is the best thing that happened to me in my whole life, because that got me into Facebook,
And that got you
Facebook
into
pages, that
internet
got me into internet friends.
All right.
Harry Potter is literally the reason I have a life. At the end, literally.
Thank you, Rowling. Is one really, really, really interesting topic I want to talk about. And that's the kind of people who you find making internet friends. Because the one thing I've noticed about everyone in our friendship group is that
we all like the same things.
That wasn't quite what I was going for.
What were you going for?
I was going for, well, what's the word? Everyone here is very, very willing to travel long distances to get to each other.
Yeah.
Because without trying to reveal as many place names as possible for privacy reasons, our good friend Aaron hosted a gathering the other day. Now, he held it in London. Aaron doesn't live in London, he lives
in Leicester.
But London is kind of the central hub where it's where basically the greatest concentration of us are.
Yeah,
for some strange old reason.
It's just luck, honestly.
It's just luck.
One of our friends came down from Leeds. Another of our friends came from
Cambridge. There was
Cambridge, Brighton. God knows where in Northern Ireland somewhere.
Yeah.
Nowhere near the capital. Like,
Flights were booked.
Yeah, and it took like 2 hours to get to the airport. So, God knows where in Northern Ireland.
But you can come from
Really far.
over to see each other. And I don't
my
really see
birthday
that anywhere
gathering.
else.
My friend Chloe came from Northern Ireland. It's mad. The amount of people at London Fandom who've come from so far.
I know.
Like when I was chatting to people and going around asking where everyone had come from, there was some really far places.
Now, I don't know if this is solely within this kind of group, because equally think about it, these close-knit groups of school friends that are made solely because they go to school together and have family interests in each other. So whatever, if these people were spread makes this whole concept so attractive. And definitely I think it's because it's the kind of people who love social interaction.
See, the thing is, for me,
seem to be kind of lonely as well in their own way.
See, for me, I've never really had many IRL friends. By IRL, I mean just people I see day to day. I've never really had many friends. Like, obviously you can, I'm not saying you can't make good friends when you're being forced to spend every day with them at school and stuff.
It's more
you can,
unlikely.
but one of the glories of internet friends and gatherings is that you can choose.
Yeah, there's a higher chance that you will find
like,
someone
you're
who has
at this gathering or on this Twitter post because you both have some kind of similar interests.
Yeah.
And then obviously the more you talk, the more you discover.
Also, another thing, not only does it bring people with these similar interests together, namely your Harry Potter friendship group on Facebook and starts.
Oh man, I love it.
Also, and I'm diving into shopping waters when I say this here, in terms of like things like health reasons. I'm lucky enough to not suffer from anything like a mental illness. A lot of people who I've met through this group are not only the loveliest and warmest people I've ever met in my life, but they also seem in some way to be the saddest.
I completely get what you mean. I don't know why that's a thing, but I've noticed that as well. In the same way that you find bigger groups of LGBTQ plus people online than you do in real life.
Yeah.
And I think it's because people just know more about both mental health and stuff like LGBT. I mean, it's obviously a difficult link I'm making here, but the same kind of thing. In the same way, online you find more of these things. It's not to say that other people don't have these things. Other people
obviously
aren't that. But
maybe
I find in groups you find that more so.
Yeah.
Well.
I was talking about this with my mum the other day.
Yeah.
She was saying she liked the way that we all talk with each other about this sort of thing, like the way that she and her friends when she was our age never did. But I think the internet has has sort of unknowingly brought these people together.
Yeah.
And in doing so, reduced the stigma around it. And now people help each other. And I do think genuinely that the internet is going to help solve this problem.
Yeah.
And someday.
At some point.
Which is
I
why I
don't know
think.
when, but I think it will. I get completely what you mean. Yeah. It's got deep.
Yeah. Verging slightly off the whole topic of this, when parents take their kids' phones away for punishment,
That's sometimes.
in some cases that can be actually quite a good thing.
Yeah.
But in some cases that can also be
one of the worst things, because if their main source of talking with their friends is online, because they don't see them day to day at all,
or not maybe not even just talking friends, but reaching a lifelong.
Yeah.
That can actually be quite adverse to the situation.
Yeah.
I mean, just look at what happened with Leela alcohol.
Oh. Yeah.
Yes. For anyone who doesn't know the story of Leela alcohol, I will leave some links in the description. The sad thing is, the kids can talk to each other about the situation because evidently the internet has brought them people that they can feel comfortable talking about this with, but evidently they can't. I don't know.
It depends on the relationship people have with their
It entirely
parents.
depends. I'm not trying to make any kind of generalization. Every family is
It's different for everyone.
But a lot of people don't want to talk about it with their parents. And I think that is, personally, I think that, I don't know if it'll make the situation any worse, but it's certainly not going to make it any better.
Yeah. Anyway. It's got deep and dark, and I think we need to end it here.
Yeah.
We have a train to catch.
Yeah. In conclusion, the 21st century has completely changed the way, at least we socialise.
Yeah. I would.
It's brought together the weirdos and freaks that would have been loners in their own schools.
I would be a hugely different person without
Same. I think. I'd like to think the internet has given me a good sense of political correctness as well.
Yeah.
And I think that's helped me make friends as well. So not only would I not have friends who were on the internet, but I think I would just be a different person altogether.
I think I'd end up being a different person. I'd be a hell of a lot lonelier.
Anyway. That was an extremely long-winded video.
Yeah, wait, let me pick up the microphone. 40 minutes. That was 40 minutes.
Yeah. But anyway, this is the lovely Emmy, who I met through the internet, if you didn't remember
know that.
You should go and subscribe
to embly99.
Subscribe to embly99. And with that, we leave you.
Okay, bye. Subscribe to Will Priddis.
Okay.
I'm just sat here shivering, it's really cold. Shit, I can't get up. Nailed it. Ow, ow, ow.